Hello everybody, I have a card making video for you today for Wild Whisper. I'm going to be working with the Moving On Up collection. I'm showing you here some of the pattern papers that I think I'm going to use. I'm definitely going to use this beautiful stamp set. And this video is going to feature some sketches. So these are sketches from Freshly Made Sketches. I chose 3 that I really liked and printed them out. I found out about this sketch website and these sketches from Christy Marcotte, and I discovered Christy Marcotte on YouTube, and I have been legitimately obsessed with her ever since. I love her cards. I love her sketches. I love I love everything she does. It's so awesome, and I just love it. So this particular video is like my take on Christy Marcotte's or let's just say heavily inspired by Christy Marcotte. With one exception, and that is that she does not color, but I'm a colorer, so we're going to color this image today. This is one of the images from the Moving On Up stamp set, and I am coloring it using my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. I love this cute little key, and there's another image on this stamp set of a little house that I love too. So this is the new Moving On Up collection from Wild Whisper. I love these papers. I love these images, but I haven't moved in 17, 18 years, and I have no intention of moving. Moving was hard, and I didn't like it. So I decided that cards were the way to go because I could create them, play with all the images, play with all the patterns, and then have this gorgeous set of 3 different cards to be able to gift or to include with a gift or to send off to friends who move. I have used this collection for some other out-of-the-box projects, and I will probably continue to do so because I do really love the colors, and a lot of the patterns are not themey and can be used for lots of things, but I really wanted to play with the theminess, and I really wanted to find the perfect Zig markers to get the orangey red that is in this collection. I think I managed it. I think I did it. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue to color these images. They're really easy to color, very nice and simple and fun. I'm going to ink up all of my card edges, all the edges, with using Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink. I pre-cut everything that I needed since I was using sketches. That made it really nice to know exactly what I was doing so I could just cut all of my shapes. I am using a bunch of different die cuts from my stash. And this, the bottom layer of this card uses Emily Moore's card basic dies, and then I just have a nesting circle die to do the circle, obviously. I am using Nouveau Deluxe adhesive for all of my cards because Wild Whisper cardstock does have a bit of a slick coating. Now, I don't call this glossy because it's not like glossy, and I actually kind of love the coating because you can stamp onto these papers and everything stamps really beautifully, so you don't have to worry about that. It's not like you stamp something and then it stays wet for a while, which I know is something that does occur, but not with these cards. And when I say cards, I really mean paper. Wild Whisper does not have coordinating dies to go with their stamp sets, so I do have to fussy cut this out. But again, the images that I used and coloring today and then cutting out, they're pretty simple images. I think this was the most complicated one. I am using Spiegel Mom Scraps Big Mama foam tape. This is the original Big Mama foam tape, so it doesn't have as much lift as the foam tape 2. The foam tape 2 is really good for shakers, but I want just a little bit of lift on these keys. And then I'm going to finish this card off with some sequins from Spiegel Mom Scraps. These are the twig and twine sequins. But you can get lots of different colors and designs and mixes from Spiegel Mom Scraps. And you can always use my code, Sarah Scraps, all uppercase, all one word, to get a discount. You can also use my code DT Sarah to get a discount over at the Wild Whisper shop, and I will leave links and those coupon codes in the description box below so that you can access them easily if you so choose. I decided to cover my little house with some glossy accents. This gives this keychain kind of like an enamel look, and I thought it was a really nice addition. I did it last because glossy accents take forever to dry, and I wanted this card completely done before I added those glossy accents so I could just set it aside and let it dry. And here is our first card all done. It does look a little still foggy from the glossy accents, but that'll dry and be awesome. Here is our second sketch and our second card. This one's going to come together super easy. I chose a sketch that was pretty easy, and I'm just going to use the sentiment Home Sweet Home on this. I'm putting my card front into my Misty, where I also have my waffle flower grip mat. I love my waffle flower grip mat. I would love waffle flower to make a huge 12 by 12 one that fits in my memory Misty, because honestly, I don't like magnets, and I love that I don't need my magnets. Yay! Stupid magnets. I'm stamping my Home Sweet Home sentiment twice using my favorite Brutus Monroe Detail Raven black ink. I love this stuff. This is also the black ink that I use for to stamp my images on Bristol cardstock before I color them. It's a fabulous, just lovely black ink. I decided to use the sentiment Home Sweet Home on this card. I have friends who are actually in India right now and will be back in about 2 months, and I thought it would be fun to give them this card as a kind of welcome home card, because we definitely have been missing them here. I chose this pretty green, it looks like crumpled paper background for this card. And then I have 3 3/4 inch strips of paper from 3 different patterns. I'm going to ink them all up. I'm actually going to start by lining them up at the bottom and then trimming them off and taking the excess and putting the excess up at the top. I actually probably shouldn't have put glue on the entire strip of this one, but that's totally fine. I have, Teflon scissors from Close to My Heart that don't stick on things, so that's good. And I'm just going to get all these strips into place. As I put one of the strips down, I'm using another strip to kind of line them up so that these 3/4 inch strips of paper have a little bit of separation between them, but they also line up top and bottom. I'm going to go ahead and add just a little scattering of sequins, and then this card is finished up. All 3 of the cards that I am making today are top folding cards. So I have 3 kind of top folding card bases just hanging out off to the side, and as soon as I finish the card fronts, I'm just putting them onto those card bases. And all of my rectangles are cut 1/4 inch smaller than a standard A2. So an A2 card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and these card fronts are 4 by 5 1/4. So you get a little bit of that white border around the cards, except for the last card, which we're going to get started on now. So for my third card, I die cut the card front onto this kind of rounded rectangle. So it's a rectangle, but it has the rounded corners. And what I'm going to do, I use the largest, this is a set of nesting dies from my stash. I use the largest nesting die. And I'm going to do this card a little bit in a different order, because I want to put this shape down. So I'm putting the stitched rectangles with the rounded corners down. I'm going to adhere it good to the card base, and then I'm just going to take my scissors and around the corners of my card base to match these. I don't know what you would call this, rectangles but with rounded corners. I feel like it should have a better name than that, but I don't really know. Anyway, they're really cute and stitched, and they all come in, they're like a nesting die. So I'm just going to go around here and trim off all the little corners on my card base. So I have this kind of shaped card. And yeah, that's going to be my card. I'm going to go ahead and ink it up, and then we're going to color that adorable, cute house. Oh, wait, apparently I forgot what order I did things in when I made this card, because I'm actually going to put the next layer down. I love all these pattern paper layers, and I'm super excited because I got to do... I got to match up those orangey red, which, by the way, is a combination. So that orangey red, if you are a zig colorer, it is a combination of scarlet red and regular red. Those are the two colors that I used to color my house. So I guess what I did here was I inked everything up and put everything onto the card except for the house. And then I'm going to go in and color the house. So my cute little colored house is going to go right there in the middle of that circle. And I am going to kind of skip a lot of the coloring on the house. I used my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. Again, this was a super, super easy image to color, but it was a little smaller, which means there isn't a lot of shading. I didn't use multiple colors for things except for the actual house, but like the roof line and the door and the porch and all of that, I just used one, maybe two colors, and that is it because this image is quite small. And on both of the houses that I colored, the one on the keychain and this one, I did color in the windows with a yellow color just to give the impression that like there were lights on inside the house. I know in some of the other images, like on some of the pattern papers, they just the windows are still white, but I really like the look of the yellow and having something in there. Totally forgot to zoom out my camera. But I am adding some black pen marks or doodles onto the house. You can see here just to give it a little bit of extra detail. And then I did add some foam tape on the back just to give it that little bit of lift. This is the regular Big Mama foam tape. And then I'm going to add some sequins. And then this card is done. And here are all three of the cards that I created. You can check out the Wild Whisper blog if you want to kind of see more close-up photos. I will have all of the links you would need if you want to purchase any of these products. I think these cards turned out so super cute. Have a wonderful day. See you later. Bye.